Call of Duty Black Ops' new beta is out, and everybody who pre-ordered it or has Game Pass can play it. But it's got some problems. So we're gonna talk about that right there. One of the big things is I don't want this to be a smear video. This isn't the idea. The idea isn't for me to say, hey, Black Ops sucks, you should never play it. But I'm gonna talk about some of the glaring issues that is available currently in the beta, and things that I really hope that they fix. Now, I'm gonna start off with a couple of good things because I think it needs to be said. The game plays pretty well, and when it isn't running into the issues that it's having right now, it actually feels pretty good. The maps, I'm not against them. They actually feel pretty decent. The Omni movement is probably the best thing Call of Duty's done in a long time. It just feels pretty smooth and easy to transition into, and if you've never used it before, I don't think that you would get really confused about using it. But the issue starts a little bit after that. So the new systems are supposed to make the game a little bit more enjoyable and stuff like that. They've managed to actually nerf rotational AA, which is awesome. I think that that's great. They should continue doing so. But the problem is, again, starts a little bit after that, which is the guns in the game are absolutely atrociously balanced. And in a shooter, that's not a good sign. I'm using the pre-order gun, the Scourge. This is just a blueprint for the Jackal. The Jackal PDW is absolutely beyond broken in every form and fashion that this game has to offer. The gun kills in 4 bullets at most ranges that you're going to be fighting with an SMG, and then kills with only 5 to 6 immediately after that. The ARs are going to take roughly 5 to 6 in a lot of those same gunfights, which means the SMG is technically as good as an AR in most of the gunfights. And of course, it's Call of Duty, so Call of Duty tends to favor their SMGs a bit. They tend to favor them a lot. And with the increased movement now, the SMGs have an even easier time of closing those gaps. And so when you mix a absolutely broken SMG with the ability to absolutely close gaps, you're looking into a game that's going to play very, very poorly. You'll see that's the AK. So the AK, it takes somewhere between 5 and 6 bullets to down people a lot of times. And that is not a good look when the SMGs do it just as effectively. I say the SMGs, it's really just the one SMG. The Jackal is by far the best in the game. C9 does pretty well for itself, but it falls off a lot quicker than the Jackal does. And the AR is pretty much, so far I'm feeling like the AK does fine, but the XM4 is probably just better. One of the biggest things that I'm running into the issue of is there's really no sense in running any of the ARs. The bolt-action sniper rifle also kind of feels awful because the flinch and sway in this game are still pretty bad, especially when you consider the fact that the SMG will drill you for 4 to 6 bullets at any range, and then it's better than that. The SVD is actually the best sniper in the game, and that is Dragunov. And I'm not sure if anybody's ever used a Dragunov in a Call of Duty game, but it's usually pretty atrocious. There's the Jackal PDW to show you kind of how that feels whenever you die to it. Also, one thing to note is Call of Duty has not at any point fixed their issues with the hit registration. As you'll notice, those 2 line marks on those hit markers means I'm landing headshots. And I'm landing, I think that was 5 or 6 headshots in that spray, and that guy just walked away. At no point should 5 or 6 headshots from an AR in any core multiplayer style game lend itself to being not a kill. It shouldn't. That just doesn't make sense. So the AR's damage drops off extremely fast over range, and the SMGs don't drop off fast enough. The shotgun is kind of abysmal. Pretty much if you're not running the Jackal right now, you are at a severe disadvantage. And the worst part about all this is they did change their gun leveling philosophy in the game. So the gun level philosophy now is that any attachments that you equip, for the most part, have no negatives, which is great for a lot of players. It just means that you're no longer gonna have to worry about, are you putting stuff on there that's gonna dramatically make your gun useless? Well, now we've got the issue that anybody who comes in new is going to drop in with a gun that has no attachments, which means everybody else's gun is just perfect, and your gun is going to be a work. You know, with the positive negative systems for a lot of games, the ability to run the guns means that if you choose to put some things on it, you obviously take some negatives. Well, that's gone now. Also, the XM4 is probably the best feeling AR in the game, even though the AK was feeling pretty good first day, but it seems like the XM4 is starting to take control. Also, one of the things to note is there's a barrel for pretty much every gun that increases headshot damage, with the exception of the sniper rifles. And if you're not running that, you're pretty much going to die instantly, because it seems to be the option to run on everything. And it takes a long time to level up the weapons, which runs into the second issue, is it takes a long time to level up the weapons. For the gun that I wanted to level up because I like running marksman rifles, the SWAT 5.56, I'm at level 20 on it. And I think I have probably 8 hours inside of trying to level the 5.56. The issue with anything other than the SMGs right now is if you are running anything that's not an SMG, it's a lot harder to get a lot of kills. The points on objectives and stuff like that are extremely low. You don't get marksman shot bonuses for landing shots over distance. So you can earn from marksman and sniper rifles, it is extremely limited. Unless you, of course, have a team feed straight into the center of your fight and never stop trying to fight you. So you're seeing extremely low leveling speeds on guns that aren't the SMGs. Extremely fast TTKs on guns that are the SMGs, and then a lot of the maps on here do not have proper lines of sight to be able to truly take advantage of a lot of the marksman rifle style gunplays, and a lot of grenade spam. But that's Call of Duty. That's what Call of Duty's been doing since Call of Duty's been Call of Duty, and so you're running into an issue where a lot of the guns are just not feeling good up against the Jackal. And that's really disappointing. And then when you throw on top of it the extremely bad server hit registration in the game right now, you get this point where it almost feels like a coin toss on these extremely fast TTK fights on whether or not you're going to actually survive them or come away from them, even though you see a bunch of hit markers. Feels like it's sometimes. Feels like it's lying to you sometimes. It feels like it tells you that was 2 bullets right there. It says 4. I got and dead. And so it feels like it's telling you that you're doing well, but then it absolutely doesn't give you that like return. So this is the part where I start asking you how you've been feeling about the beta. Does it feel like it's been treating you well? Is it something that you've been enjoying? Have you been running into the same issues, or is this something isolated to me? A lot of packet burst in this beta. There's been a few ways that people have been saying that you can fix it, but for the most part, it doesn't feel like it's getting fixed. And there's another 4-shot from the AK that, even though I land 6 headshots, it's just not giving me that same turnaround. So it's a bunch of inconsistencies, and it's a beta, so there's still time for them to fix a lot of these inconsistencies. They are terribly frustrating when you're running into them. So that was what, 5-6 hit markers there with 3 headshots. I just would really like it if the game were a bit more consistent, which is a shame, honestly, because when the game's running well and the shots feel like they're actually connecting when you're landing them, the game feels amazing, but you don't get that opportunity all the time. It's got a whole lot of problematic moments, a whole lot of them. But yeah, so tell me how you've been enjoying the beta if you've been playing it. If you haven't, then let me know once you get over into the open beta that's going to be this next week. This next week's open beta will be available for everybody. All you all do is download and then go from there. I'm looking forward to hopefully the game improving as it comes through, and everybody having a damn good time, because I've been enjoying it. I just wish I could enjoy it just a wee bit more. Just if it was just working just a little bit better, the game would be amazing. But thank y'all for checking out the video. Let me know what you think. Until next time, peace.